That's awesome, Josh. Good to hear.
Well, as long as you're happy.
Never. Hey, let's clap this in. Oh, yeah. Now we can hear me.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Whoop, 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 whoop. What the fuck is up in the place to be? Comment on the mic is easy, motherfucking E.
Damn.
All right, so we will get some cease and desist letters from the estate of Eazy-E and NWA. So we can add that to our collection.
And the resin and filament printing company.
What's going on, guys? It's On Fire tonight with Josh and Tressa. I'm Josh.
I'm Tressa.
And we are here to talk about The Peripheral, season 1, episode 1 on Amazon Prime. So if you haven't seen it already, we're going to spoil it by talking about it. So if you don't want things spoiled, go watch it. And now you're back. Welcome.
Hi.
Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, Josh.
Yes, Tressa.
What'd you think?
I'm pretty fucking excited about this show. I gotta be honest. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I watched this pilot like a week ago or something, and it was like, I don't know, I guess I was in a bad mood or something. Like maybe I was just looking at my phone and not paying close attention.
You do that.
I mean, I think everyone does that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
Like,
fucking with
it's a bummer because if you hadn't said, let's do this show,
you.
I wouldn't have rewatched and I wouldn't be on board now and really excited about it. So I'm just saying, very recently I watched this and came to the wrong conclusion based on probably whatever mood I was in.
I'm
It's a dumb show.
I'm starting to believe that you need to rewatch everything you did not like ever, because every time I've said we should watch this, you're like, nah, I didn't like it so much the first time. You just fall in love. So what else did you hate? So we'll watch that next.
When you get caught between the new moon and New York City.
You know what, Josh? I love that Amazon is getting weird. I love that every new Amazon original is like, let's get something crazy up in here. Let's do some time travel and some space junk. I don't know, whatever they do.
I know. We both were fucking hardcore fans of Outer Range. And this has some of the some but not all of the hallmarks of that show, as well as plenty of great stuff to recommend it. I think we should just jump right in.
Let's do it. Feet first.
Yeah, because fuck our feet.
Fuck feet.
Fuck. It's not that kind of show. You know what?
Not...
Like whatever you're into, you go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yikes. I think we struck a nerve with Tressa. Something a little close to the bone.
I just appreciate what?
What?
Thank you for letting me be me, Josh. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you for letting me be myself.
And you always got a song prepared, and I appreciate that about you.
I'm here to win at conversation.
Did I tell you I have cancer?
Dropping the C-bomb. It's fucking great. Longtime listeners and letterheads alike will know that we are talking about my obsession with a short humor piece that Paul Sims wrote in the New Yorker like 15 or more years ago. And he has masterfully used pretty much everything that was in that to inform the character of Colin Robinson in What We Do in the Shadows.
One might say you're a letterhead for that piece.
Yeah, I am a bit of a letterhead.
Hey, let's jump in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
So, super fans, letterheads, longtime listeners, this show fucking rules. It's based on the writings of William Gibson, who you know to be one of the progenitors of cyberpunk, along with Philip K. Dick. And I don't know, this is all you would want from a William Gibson piece, and it's super, super, super good. We start off, I mean, before the show even starts, like the credit animation, we see like worlds being drawn in sort of like a matrixy digital type way, and it's um like we're later going to see this kind of stuff in the show, but we're seeing like a digital an over digitized version of like futuristic London. All right, so we start off London 2099, and there are pirate ships at war, and we zoom out, and what's actually happening is that they're like tiny little projections in a fountain, and we've got a character just sort of like
Observing.
daydreaming in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that actor, by the way, I don't know if you watched the show The Deuce. He was in The Deuce. He was very good in that. He played a very charismatic pimp.
Good for him.
Yeah, great for him.
Mm-hmm.
So we will later learn that that character's name is Wilf.
Did we learn that in this episode?
We didn't learn that in this episode, but like if you're watching on a computer and you like touch the mouse, there's an X-ray and it tells you the actors and their characters while the show is playing. And if you want to take notes and know what the fuck you're talking about, maybe
Josh,
maybe you do the bare fucking minimum.
I do not want to do that. I will let you, and I will nod.
I do not want to do that, says Tressa. The bare fucking minimum. I do not want to wiggle a mouse with my pinky.
Okay, I can't do that because if I do, it'll show up on Twitch and it'll interrupt the stream.
Okay,
so,
all right, okay.
You.
Right, so my screen's not going out to the world the way yours is, but you would be interrupting other people's viewing pleasure.
Mm-hmm,
fair.
Thank you.
Fair. Although I suppose maybe there's a way, I don't know, whatever. So Wilf is sitting on this bench. He's in a park in futuristic 2099 London with this crazy pirate broadsides and boarding parties action unfolding like meaninglessly in front of him.
Yeah. Is that just something that parks have in the future?
In London, maybe.
Yeah. Is it maybe an ad for something? Is it maybe just general entertainment?
Oh, that's interesting. Sort of in a like in a Minority Report type way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't explain
anything.
They don't explain anything about those pirates, the ships, the projection, whether it's real or fake or whatever.
I gotta say, like, I love future shows when they have all this tech that almost seems like it's not futuristic enough, but then some of it does. I like it because you cannot nitpick it. You're not there. You can't say, they would have this by then. You don't know. Fuck you guys. It's the future. You don't know what they have. You don't know what fucked up war happened and destroyed all the stuff. Go
Okay.
ahead. I'm sorry.
No, 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 no. I agree with all of that. Like I particularly love um futuristic shows, like sci-fi shows that take place in a far-flung future where things look old in the future rather than new.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like I want their world to be just as lived in as my world is.
Yes.
And, maybe things are better, you know, technology has improved in various ways, but that doesn't mean that like,
Everything is polished and perfect.
right.
And like, yes.
However, having
Mm-hmm,
said that,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think that we're ignoring the elephant in the room about this show,
What's
which
that?
I want to talk about before we even really talk about the show itself.
Do it, man. Do it.
All right. So we've got this scene in London 2099, and we're
Mhm.
about to see the Blue Ridge Mountains in 2032, 67 years earlier.
Oh,
However,
I didn't know that. I did not know
okay, yeah, so those are two things. And it would appear that our character who lives in the Blue Ridge Mountains in 2032
that. Mhm.
is going to either a completely simulated world in her game
Mhm.
or simulation or VR or however you want to talk about it, or she's transported to that London 2099 that we see at the very beginning, or she's not real, but London in the future is, or London in the future is not real, but her 2032 is, or they're both real, or they're both not real. So, like, just zooming way the fuck out to talk about like the underlying structure of what the fuck are we watching
Yeah.
is very confusing and interesting. And it has many of the hallmarks of weird fiction. Are you familiar with that term as like a subgenre of writing?
The term weird fiction,
Yeah.
I am not familiar at all.
Okay, so like it's sort of a branch, like a sub branch almost of gothic fiction, stuff like Poe or Hoffman or I mean, Lovecraft and like all the stuff. And like what goes on in weird fiction is you have typically, like, there's no exact thing that says like this is weird fiction and this isn't weird fiction, but like often you have a sense of maybe your main character's point of view is not based in reality. Maybe they are not sane, or maybe they are not real. There are frequently doubles, which is a thing that we see already throughout this pilot episode. And there's a lot of eyeballs, actually, is like a frequent theme
In weird
throughout
fiction?
throughout weird fiction, and definitely in this show.
All right. I'm here for it.
Yeah, so like for for people that want to engage on that level, there's like a lot to think about and a lot to chew on. Like seriously, like from the very beginning, we do not know what is real. So we're in London 2099. We've got Wilf sitting on a bench watching Unreal Pirates or whatever. And then out of nowhere comes like an 8 or 9 year old street urchin named Alita. And she's barefoot and her face is smudged with coal and her hair is up.
Little
And they clearly know
ragamuffin.
each other and they have a history together.
That's right.
So he's like, what are you doing here? And she's, you know, we get some really quick, like not very filled in backstory about how she said she was going to save him and she's going to save the world. And he's like, I thought we both already agreed that this world was like beyond saving. And she's like, I didn't say this world.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Which world are you talking about, girl?
And then right, so then we see, and I don't know if you caught this,
Probably not.
right before we go to Blue Ridge Mountains 2032, there's a very short scene where the we see like a toy game board that's almost all white with like trees around it
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
is the world of Blue Ridge Mountains 2032. We see like characters including Connor, who is the wheelchair guy.
I miss the characters.
Yeah, so they're in there, but it's just like it's only like a 2-second shot of this white board.
And I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, and it's like, so, you know, have have people in London 2099 mapped out a world and created this Blue Ridge Mountains? Are they creating a thing that's a sim so that they can inhabit people in that time, or vice versa?
Bruh, who are the pawns and who are the masters?
Yeah, it's a real like the snake sucks its own dick type situation.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. Yeah. Then we meet I don't remember anybody's name. I gotta take notes, dude. What am I
Okay,
doing not taking notes?
okay. So our main character is Flynn, and her brother's name is Burton, and they have a very sick mom who's like got a terminal disease and has already lost her eyesight. And so like we open up on their world, we see that the mom is sick and like running out of pills.
Right.
And
Flint's pissed because she knows she's supposed to have more pills. So she goes to her brother, I assume is her brother, and is like, what the fuck, dude? Where are all the
right,
pills?
right. So she walks out, like it seems like they own a beautiful piece of land. They've
Mm-hmm.
got this isolated farmhouse,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gaming in an extremely rundown, overgrown Airstream, which
Yeah,
is like
it was
from
very Ready Player One. Get it, guys? It's VR in a trailer. A wink.
um
Sorry.
is that I saw the movie Ready Player One.
Remember he like went into that junkyard and he had this whole setup of VR shit and like he put on his suit and he was just like, I have my secret VR thing in a trailer that's in a garbage place. No?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm sorry. It's been a minute since I saw it. It was a fun movie.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Okay. So like, right, she goes out to the Airstream trailer where the brother's gaming, and he's like, "Hey, can you take over for a minute? I got to go take a leak." So she jumps into his game, and then like we see the world of the game that he was playing, and now she's taken over his avatar, and it's like a World War II type thing.
Yeah, it's I like that Call of Duty hasn't changed one bit in what, 50 years, 30, 40 years. What year is it again?
Well, great question. Great question, because maybe it's like 100 years from now, maybe it's 600 years from now. Like maybe we haven't actually seen the real time, if there even is such a thing, that this show takes place in. So her brother's avatar, uh,
That's right.
not to be confused with Admiral Avatar
Right.
from Star Blazers. Did you ever see that show?
No.
I was a huge fan of that show as a kid.
I have a lot of questions, but it's gonna derail and go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So her brother Burton was playing a character that looks just like him, but with like a bigger beard, and he's like in World War II, like in a French or whatever, like farm scenario, and he's got to fight Nazis
Right.
or whatever. Like I'm not even sure that that's like the storyline that's playing out, but it's akin to that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the basis of the whole thing, I assume. Did I start? Hold up.
What up? Hold up.
No, I got it. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm sorry.
What's going?
Nothing. I feel like my brain is on hold today, but it's fine. I'm good. Go ahead.
Do you need like? Are you okay?
Never. Yes, I'm fine, Josh. Thank you.
All right, so Tress is deeply unwell. By the
Yeah.
time you hear this, it will already be too late.
Which is mere seconds of me saying these words. We learned that Flynn, right? She's fucking awesome at these games. Way better than Burton.
Right, Burton's good, but like she's like the fucking star. So like
Mhm.
whenever she takes over his game for him, she kicks ass like way better than he could have. And like he was playing, it's like a multi-person thing. So like the people that he's playing online with,
Right.
they recognize in the game that Flynn has taken over
Right. You're not the
because the
usual
character is doing
asshole.
so much better. Right. I mean, in part, like she gives a wink and a nod by like complimenting one guy's beret, but
Yeah.
they're like, oh, hey, good to see you, Flynn.
Yeah.
Um, so right. So she like immediately goes into action, puts a tractor into drive to confuse
The
the
old brick
soldier.
on the gas pedal
Rick
trick.
on the gas pedal trick. She like sends a rocket into a big bale of hay behind the guy and then annihilates him and whatever. Like she
Check it
takes
out. My
she takes
cup is green.
is that because now it disappears like a green screen.
Sorry, go ahead. Fun.
So she like wins the game and takes the VR headset off, and we see back in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and she's like, so just send the money to my phone,
Right.
and takes off. And she goes like she works at a 3D printing store,
That
uh
one.
the one behind us in our little show right now. And she's taken cash out of the ATM, like I don't even know how much it was, but it was like a gazillion dollars.
It was probably $1,000 because they made it seem like all they had was $1,000 to
Right,
get one pill.
to get one pill in this far-flung, not that far-flung future.
Because welcome to America. That's why.
Right, it's just like the problems that you have now, they get worse.
Yeah. Everything's more expensive and things are expensive now and everything sucks and healthcare is non-existent. Still, fuck you,
Okay,
America.
so we've already had like multiple time jumps within this story of like we see London in the future, we see a different timeline, or maybe not a different timeline, but a different time, possibly different timeline in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And then there's the world of the World War II game, which is even further back. Now she's taken out $1,000 to hope to buy a single pill for her mom's pain management. And as she's at the ATM, cop car pulls up, and it's Tommy.
Tommy, we love Tommy.
Yeah, turns out that Tommy is her like 7th grade crush that she's never gotten over.
That's so sad.
And now he's a cop in the town, and he was just sort of patrolling the ATM because nobody uses cash for anything unless it's shady.
I mean, that's true now, so I
It's
get
true
it.
now, so why wouldn't it be true then?
Yeah, they have a cute little exchange. La la la, weddings, fine, bye. She, oh, I did it again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so longtime listeners, super fans, and letterheads all know that Tressa is incapable. Her brain cannot process human emotion expressed in any way.
Sorry. So they have a very polite conversation about how he needs wedding cake toppers from the 3D printer that she works at place. And she's like, oh, that's real fun and everything, but is secretly heartbroken. And is that better, Josh?
Well, yes,
Thank you.
yes. I'm surprised, frankly. I'm impressed.
It took a lot out of me and I hated every second of it. So you're welcome.
Well, okay, so what I'm learning right now in this moment
Mhm.
is that you actually are absorbing information when all along I thought you had been incapable of absorbing certain types of information, and your brain like went into auto
Mhm.
drive and just like shuts off. And whenever people are like expressing any sort of tenderness, all you hear is like, whatever, bro. Like all their dialogue is replaced with whatever, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Okay, whatever.
I, that's just what I wish it was replaced with.
All right. There's so many fucking things that happen in this episode. We have to like
I
stay
know. Let's
focused.
go. She
Okay.
goes to work. What? Wait. He's like, what's her name? Has some nugs for it? Just
Nubbins.
nubbins. That's what it is.
Nubbins.
I want nubbins. It looked like some good garbage food. I was there for it.
Yeah, I guess that's like, I don't know, just some food. But everybody knows nubbins. Like they
Yeah.
use the word nubbins like 20 times
Yeah, they did.
with like her friend Billy Ann, and
Mhm.
also the two guys that work with her at the print shop that like can't be trusted to do anything correctly.
No, because they're boys. I like to think that they were pizza rolls.
You think they're pizza rolls?
Hmm. I'm almost positive of it.
Why not? Why not? Okay, so
Okay,
they
go ahead.
had pizza rolls, and that's
Hmm.
like too hard to say, so they say nubbins.
Yeah.
um the the two guys who are sort of like, you know, they are our stock uh
Doofuses.
there are stock doofuses. They're like our comic relief because they are not good at their job, I guess.
Right.
They're Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. They are R2D2 and C3PO. They're the two guys from Rashomon, if you remember. No, I don't remember. Okay, anyway, no one remembers. Um,
The
so
two guys from the IT crowd. Keep going.
oh, I never watched that show,
It's
even though it's
fun.
got like the greatest cast of all
Yeah,
time.
absolutely.
But there's something about the way those like very fake looking sets look
You
that makes
hate a
me,
fake set.
I super hate a fake set, and it's been a real barrier for me. Like I'm sure that I'm missing out on, like, for example, that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anything British, really? Anyway,
Um, well, I mean,
any
this show's a little bit British at least.
any British comedy. How about that?
Well,
Nope. Anyway,
wait,
so okay.
nah. Okay, anyway. So the two idiots accidentally printed a bride and two grooms, and because like they
Why would
didn't.
they ask for two grooms? That's so stupid.
Oh, because you didn't read the thing properly. It was like, whoops,
Oh,
and then snaps one of them in half. He's like, okay, fixed now.
bro.
Um, there's a new piece of tech that arrived at the store for her brother, but she has to scan for it, which means that
Mm.
like if they scan her eyeball as a signature.
Yeah, because it's the future.
Yeah. And so there you have one of the many, many moments of eyeball stuff, a la Weird Fiction.
Oh, yes.
And we've already seen the mother who's lost her eyesight.
Oh,
Yeah, it's throughout. Once you start looking for it, it's everywhere.
holy.
And the idea of doubles, because like literally everything is a game where someone's playing an avatar, so they have a double, but they're
Yep.
not necessarily that person for real.
Right.
So you can't trust that a person's reality is really them.
And the two groom cake toppers.
Yeah,
Doubles.
totally. Boom, right there.
Sup.
Okay, so she's taking out the trash, and
Mm.
one of the trash bags just fucking explodes on her, and she sees the broken figurine.
Covered
And,
in spaghettios.
yeah, but the nubbins.
You mean pizza rolls? Yeah.
So you know, it's Tommy. It's a figurine of her seventh grade crush. So she pockets it. So
I don't care for it.
then we're back at the Brothers Airstream, taking a look at this new VR headset. The nerds back at the store were talking about how it's got like at least half of it is like stuff that hasn't even been patented yet.
Right.
And the brother explains that he got recruited because he had passed level 100 of some game. And she was like, horseshit, you never passed 83 with like whatever. And he's like, yeah, but funny thing is, somebody started playing my avatar and kept going and going.
He's
So that,
talking about her.
right. So because he because that avatar got so far, this company wants him to beta test their new headset for this experimental sim, or that's what he's been told. And
Right.
it pays well. So what you have here is your classic Last Starfighter scenario.
We gotta save the rec center.
Well, no, but it like, did you see Last Starfighter?
I did when I was a kid. I don't remember anything about it.
Okay, so here's what happened back in
Tell me.
back in 1984.
Um,
Video games were sweeping the world.
I'm
And
familiar.
so we've got a kid living in a trailer park, and he's playing this arcade game. They're like big stand-up arcade games like you would see in
Mhm.
a physical arcade or in a pizza place
A showbiz pizza. Go ahead.
or a bar or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, he gets past like the highest level in the game, and everyone at the trailer park is excited. And then a mysterious stranger shows up and he's like, hey, I heard that somebody around here beat the game. And it turns out that that fucking video game was a way to
It was a test.
it was a test
A
to
recruitment.
recruit
Yes.
for, yeah, now that you can play the game, it's exactly like the game. You're gonna be a starfighter to save
And
the,
that kid was the last one.
I think that like something happened where like all the other people or the other creatures from different worlds got like destroyed, and he was the last of them.
There were
Uh
aliens that
yeah,
got
there were like a million
recruited.
different aliens. This is kind of low budget, so it was like, they raided the costume closet of
They had
like,
antennae from a headband. That's
yeah,
pretty much it.
they had deedly boppers. um yeah, it was don't go looking for like amazing uh effects from back then. Just like enjoy the fun of the premise.
Okay.
And also while he's gone on Earth, he's replaced by like a robot double, and his younger brother is like,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna tell mom And the robot double is like, no, you won't, because I'll tell mom about your Playboys under the bed.
As every 80 child in every 80s movie had. I don't think I have seen this movie. I
Oh
don't
my
remember
God,
this at
dude.
all.
Fucking make some time for it.
No. I mean, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but maybe you want to live it. It's pretty great.
Yeah. I think if I were to even mention it, Andy would make me watch it. So I probably will.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun to definitely to watch together.
Date night. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Flynn pops on the VR headset and zoom, we're in what seems to be London 99 again, like London 2099
Oh,
or whatever. It's like a super futuristic world.
mm.
There's a voice. So
She is
so
presented as her brother because everyone
right.
thought that her brother was the amazing game player.
Right. So the avatar that Flynn is playing looks exactly like her brother,
Mm.
and people refer to that character as such.
Yes.
And so he has a voice in his head telling him what to do, and explains that like you're going to feel real pain if
Right.
somebody hurts you in this game.
Why would you add that to the game? Why is that a feature? Fuck that. I hate it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think this is a game. I think that this is real life,
Right. I
or
mean, yeah,
vice versa, or whatever. I don't know.
right. But oh, God.
So yeah, so there's like a real question about what's real and what's not real, and what's, can you trust a tangible thing like physical pain? Well, that's not a tangible thing, but I mean, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Not to jump ahead too far, but like he's trying to get out of restraints and pulls off the skin of his hand and he's got a robot hand. It
Right. So like that's a scene that we're going to see play out in a little while. Here, let's just go through it and get to that
fine.
a little bit in order. I mean, whatever.
Fine. I'm just I no, no, no,
What's up?
nothing. I want answers and it's confusing. And I want to know, is her brain in the future? Is the future real? And I,
That's why I find this show so fucking fascinating, because
yes,
I want
absolutely.
answers to that. I think that when I watched this show for the first time like a week ago, I wasn't
Mhm.
paying super close attention, and I didn't realize how they were fucking with
Intricate.
the audience that way. And instead, what I thought
Mhm.
I was watching was a character playing a game. And I always think that like removes all the stakes.
Yeah, but the
Um,
stakes are definitely there.
the stakes are definitely there. Right. So like this the show is like created by the same people that made Westworld.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that makes
And
sense.
I think Westworld um skirts the line between what's really at stake and what's not at stake by having um robot characters who are more human than the humans.
Like that song.
Yeah, which is taken from Blade Runner, which is based on a Philip K. Dick book.
Never heard of it. Never
Yeah,
heard of
that's
it.
the so it's based on the motto of the Tyrell Corporation. More human than human. Exactly like Rob Zombie. Sing it for us, Tressa.
My mic just stopped working. I'm sorry, I can't.
More human than human. More
Thank
human
you.
than human. More human than human.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So the lesson here is, if you want to have a successful band, just steal like fun bits and pieces from fun movies
Obviously.
and have like a little pastiche mishmash of it.
And a cowboy hat.
And a cowboy hat.
Hmm.
And yeah, just
Yeah.
yeah, celebrate those things.
Hmm. And
Um,
dreadlocks, but only if you're white. So then he rides his motorcycle to this party because he's being told to, and it appears that it's at Buckingham Palace, but it's not where it is, but it is because it's the future. And the voice in his head is like, yeah, it looks like that's where it is, but that's not what's there now.
right. So like he gets off the motorcycle, which just like
Just,
disintegrates into
yeah,
non-existence when
yeah,
he
yeah.
gets off of it.
But his
And
jacket doesn't. He places his jacket on it and it just falls to the ground. I thought that was nice.
um some like very Westworld looking robots materialize to welcome him to the party. And the voice in the head told him to say, I have arrived. That's like what opens the door and lets him in.
Right.
He, uh, he,
Yeah,
it gets confusing because it's
it does.
Flynn
Yeah, yeah.
and it's, Flynn
We'll just
piloting his body.
we'll just use the gender that we see on screen. It's
Right.
fine.
So we're going to live in the moment that we see on screen,
Hmm.
which is either a game or the future, or a game about the future, or the real world, depending on what the fuck is going on here. He does a bunch of acrobatics, like
Yeah,
flips and stuff.
for fun because he knows he can do it because it's a game.
Right. And that's
Fun.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super fun.
It's a company party for something called RI, which is like, I didn't take notes on all the many things that it might stand for.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island being the main thing, the ocean state.
Yes, that's right. Really intense, the other one. Raging indents. Um, resource intimates. Um,
Renob idiots.
yep. That's all of them. So that's what the party's for.
Right. So like he's walking around the party, the voice in his head is like, who's the prettiest belle of the ball or whatever. And we see him scanning the room, and it's like we see all the characters at this place sort of have different historical references in the way they're styled.
Yeah.
So like, it takes place in this future world, but it many things harken to different eras of history throughout the party. And I think that like if we did sort of a slow-mo frame by frame, we could like really tease that out a bunch. Um, but
I just took that as fashion is weird. I
yeah,
didn't
maybe
take
maybe
that.
that's all it is. Maybe that's all it is. Like maybe in the future, fashion is based on this, that, and the other thing, much as it always has been.
Right, right, right. But I don't know. That's
But
what I
there's like
took.
a mutton chops guy,
Yeah.
and like
Like
is it
flapper lady and slick back lady hair. I
right?
don't
We've got like a okay, so like he focuses on one woman, and the voice in his head is like, no, careful, that's the queen bee. You don't want to feel her sting. And then he
Ugh.
finally finds uh this like femme fatale, like, film noir, like 40s looking lady, and the voice in the head indicates that's the right choice.
And
And so yeah.
his mission is to get her to take him home.
And how does he do it?
He's like, blah, 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 let's go. That was for you, Josh.
Thank you. Thanks. Now I'll ask you again, you motherfucker. Blah blah blah. Honestly, the hilarious thing is that's actually kind of right.
I know, it totally is. He's basically like, hey, good looking. What's up? And she's like, hey, why don't you have a seat? Because you said I was pretty. And then he's like, hey, do you value your time? Because this is something that Flynn was told by her friend, like a
Billy
pickup line.
Ann.
Yeah, she was great.
Yes.
And she's
Billy
like,
Ann gives Flynn the exact recipe for how to do it.
yeah, yeah. And so he was like, hey, do you value your time? And she's like, yeah, I guess as much as anyone does. Well, then
Oh,
instead of,
interesting, by the way. This is hitting the time thing.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this is a smart show. Smarter than I am.
And me. And he's like, cool. Well, how about instead of me saying you're pretty and cool and everything, you just take me home right now? And she's like, dope, let's go.
I mean, it was a little bit better than that, but
I
like
don't think so. I think I nailed
you
it.
more or less got it.
I think I nailed it.
So they leave the party, and uh the voice in our guy's head is like,
Mr. Ice, I think is what he wants to be called. Is
yeah,
that right?
yes. He's
Mr. Ice.
called Mr. Ice in this game, in the simulation.
And what's the voice say?
Uh that this lady has affected tastes and requires a driver, and be careful, if you try to hurt her, this driver will kill you.
That's right.
So then they get in the car and they're making out,
Mm,
and he's told to like drug her or like do what, like knock her out or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
And the driver instantly goes into
Mhm.
action, and there's a thrilling fucking fight.
So thrilling.
Pow, pow, punch, kick, flip, etc. There's a knife, but Mr. Ice comes out
Uh-huh.
victorious
Of
over.
course.
Yeah. So I
The
mean,
best, the best death blow to this robot thing, just putting the knife on the steering wheel and breaking the car so it stabs itself in the head was beautiful. I loved that.
so this is like a perfect example of, I have trouble finding, like, I know that our character is in danger,
Hmm.
but the threat posed to him is like a non-real being.
Right.
And so it's hard to feel like
Stakes.
it's not just stakes, like it's a fucked up thing, right? Like if you just fight robot clones or whatever the fuck they are,
Yeah.
um it's like masturbatory.
Uh, mm, you know, yeah, but I think it's worse than actually a person fighting an actual person because this robot isn't going to slow down because of pain. This robot is basically indestructible. I mean, it wasn't, but
Yeah, and it turns out that its kill switch was like the same place where a human's kill switch would be.
right. But I mean, I thought it was worse than if he had been fighting an actual human. I mean, I thought
Yeah,
that.
I mean, right. Like the danger to him is greater than a regular person would pose, probably.
Yeah, I think so. I think it would be stronger, faster. What's the song? I don't know.
What is the song?
I don't know. It's some 90s dance hit. I don't remember.
Sweat,
No.
sweat,
Uh, mm, pardon
sweat,
me. No, you keep going. I gotta turn a
sweat.
text.
Let the rhythm take control. Let the rhythm move you. Sweat, sweat.
Mhm, mhm.
So I'm pretty sure just the rest of this episode is going to be me singing CNC Music Factory.
I mean, that sounds great. Keep going.
All right, sweet. So okay, so Mr. Ice kills the driver. The mysterious femme fatale woman is passed out in the back seat.
Mm.
Mr. Ice is now driving the car. We hear the voice in his head saying that in the beginning there was darkness and everything was created from the darkness. And they're sort of like hitting that eyeball blindness thing.
Oh,
And just like the idea of like this world being created, whatever. He says open sesame. He says, I have arrived.
yep.
He says
And
his magic password, and the bricks part like a curtain to reveal the woman whose
who is the
voice we've been hearing.
voice? Hmm.
Now that woman doesn't have a name yet, but later in the episode, she will be referred to as Alita West.
Okay, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it'll be coming up in a little bit. So she, that woman is styled like the 8-year-old urchin we saw at the very beginning. They
I
have this.
didn't notice that either.
Aren't you a hairstylist? They have the same exact hair.
What? You, I didn't notice. Maybe because it was cute on the little girl and it looked severe on her.
Well,
It
she's
looked
been
very
through some
different to me.
shit. She's been through some shit.
To set? God damn it. I'm so confused and I love it. Okay, keep going.
Right.
So this guy, he's driving the femme fatale's car to this lady who he's just meeting her for the first time, and she is just wondering about, I mean, she's just in wonder about the fact that this guy is doing this stuff and she's in his head. She's just as in wonder about it than he is. I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
saying right now.
Yeah. Okay, so she's like, it's me, you little puppet that I've been puppeteering this whole time.
Right.
Except it's interesting, right? Because like she's puppeteering him, but also Flynn is puppeteering him.
Like a double situation. A
Well,
double
but
puppeteer.
it's just like it's confusing who's in control or what control or agency means, right? Like
Yeah.
um she says, I shouldn't be telling you this, but you're my first Polt. I think she says Polt.
I think you're right.
And she's like, it blows my mind. You're real. What if I told you'll be dead and your whole world won't exist in 10 years? Would that change anything for you? So that is like, we have this moment where is what does that mean, right? Like
Right. It,
in the time that we're making this podcast, that seems to be a very on the nose climate change type warning
mm,
from a dark future.
yeah.
That's how it feels to me as the world quickly and slowly explodes all around us.
Cool. Tell me more super fun stuff, Josh.
Yeah. Let me bring down the tone. All right, so we're just gonna cut that out so it's not a bummer. Right, so that character is trying to, or not trying to, like, she has knowledge about the world that Flynn's future will be,
Yes.
or so it seems.
Right. At this point, I mean, it seems like she knows what she's talking about. Us as viewers would think that because it's just weird and whatever. But also, we nobody knows if she's just talking out of her ass and talking about a game. So much mind fuck in this entire, I'm assuming, series.
So, okay, there's so much more to talk about, and we've barely scratched the surface.
Bruh.
So that's the end of that little moment in the game. We're back to the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Flynn is like, holy shit, that was so real. And Burton is there, and it's night. Like, a lot of time has passed while she's had the VR headset on. And, you did so well. They bumped the money up, he tells her. And Flynn stands up and immediately feels faint.
Yeah.
So
And
whatever
then
Whatever she
Maybe
did.
it is only more 10 more years. Maybe she is fucked now that she started, because she is.
Oh, you think? Oh, are you positing the idea
Mm,
that if she had never put on that VR headset, that things would be fine?
absolutely.
That that's a novel idea.
I think,
Uh
I mean,
I
it's going straight to her brain. I think she's going to have fucked up brain stuff now.
Here's what I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't interpret it that way, but I think that that's a totally valid interpretation. And maybe you're right. And I was just like, miss the forest for the trees. I thought she was saying that the whole world of the that that she lives that Flynn lives in
Hmm.
2032 in her timeline is headed towards disaster. That like the human race will die out.
Oh, you think that the lady from the game was saying that?
Something like that.
That makes sense too, because of what the bench guys at the beginning. I just assumed it was like, hey, you specifically, you're gonna die because you're doing this dumbass shit right now.
Something like that.
Anyway, what happens next?
So she goes to the bar to buy Tamazine for her mom
Hmm.
with a big pocket full of cash. Tamazine is the drug that they are now out of.
Yes.
She goes into this bar called Jimmy's that's like a real honky tonk. Um, it looks like a real redneck paradise.
Just like in Outer Range with the drunken gentleman or whatever it was called.
Right, that place, the handsome gambler,
Yeah, that's what I said.
the handsome gentleman. No, wait, what did you say? The
The
drunken
drunken
gentleman.
gentleman.
The drunken gentleman is a great name for something. Maybe that's what if this was On Fire Tonight with Tressa and the Drunken Gentleman?
Oh, I come up with it and you get the name? Well, fuck you,
All
dude.
right, you can be the Drunken Gentleman.
Thank
On Fire
you.
Tonight with Josh and the Drunken Gentleman.
Hello.
So, right, so Flynn goes to the bar on her like pedal e-bike thing.
Right.
At the bar, we see a guy with one arm getting super shit faced. His name is Connor.
Mm.
He has a very high end like unicycle wheelchair thing.
I mean, high end to us, but
High end to
then
us.
it could
Yeah.
be like the shittiest wheelchair anyone ever saw.
Well, it looks pretty cool.
It
Anyway,
looks cool as fuck.
he's like missing an arm, he's missing both legs. Um and the you know, he's had enough. Like the bartender cuts him off.
Right. There's like, I don't know if this is ADR, if I just felt like it was, but the bartender's like, all right, that's enough for you. And I feel like there was no bartender anywhere and you couldn't tell who he was talking to. And I don't know if he was talking to that guy because he seemed like he was fine and was leaving anyway.
Right. And also I think there's a woman behind the bar.
Uh, Hey, make no mistake. I'm just an asshole. Will not ruin anything about the show for me. I just like to pick out stupid shit. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Flynn finds Atticus, who is a skeezy looking mulleted drug dealer, with a sidekick, and then he's joined by like a third guy named Cash. And these guys are real dicks. She's trying to pay for some Tamazine.
A single pill.
A single she yeah, right. He calls out, he's like, I think your math is off. He's like, she's like, okay, I just want one pill tonight, and then I'll get the rest tomorrow. And
They're like, that's not how we do it.
they're like, maybe you could suck both of our dicks.
Hey, maybe. Hey, let's make a deal.
I mean, he's very suave about it. He's like, maybe
Oh,
we could
yeah.
perform a service on both of us.
He's nothing if he's not a gentleman.
He's super duper smooth.
Mm.
So Connor, who's like, who looks barely functional, he's so shit-faced,
Yeah,
wheels out his like wheelchair connects with like sort of a motorcycle rig.
yeah,
And
which is
then
super cool.
right.
So neat.
Yeah. Very, very cool looking.
Which
Um,
and that like
badass,
after
futuristic, but also like worn in and shitty.
yeah, absolutely. Everything once he like connected his wheelchair to his rig thingy, it seemed like everything before then was him pretending to be drunk because after that he was fine. He was collected, he was calm. He's like, "Hey, maybe you just give her the pill, you fucking dickheads, because I could probably kill everybody and I will if you just don't give her the fucking pill."
I mean, I think it's kind of like a Han Solo in the tavern scene situation where he might be legit drunk, but he can handle himself, you know?
Mm. And that's why it was okay that he drove home.
Oh, this is about to be a drunk driving PSA. This is in the
Yeah.
Blue Ridge Mountains. There's no law there.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
There's also apparently no traffic. Like they
No,
encounter no one on those
never.
roads.
Did we even see a car in the Blue Ridge Mountains?
We will in the future. We will in a little bit later on in the episode, but not right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. But only anyway.
Okay, so there's a real tense showdown because they're being fucking dicks to Connor, and
Uh-huh.
Connor's like, "Oh, you know what? Uh, the very worst thing I can see happening out of a confrontation right now is that I kill two of you and not three of you. That's the worst possible outcome."
Yeah.
And they're all like, "Oh fuck, this guy could really kill us." So Atticus gives them the high sign and they make the deal, and Flynn buys one pill for all the money that she has in the world.
Man, Jesus Christ. Just give her two. What? One pill. What the fuck, dude?
Then they go back inside the bar
Ugh.
and they see a guy that we'll find out his name is Corbell later in the show. He's smoking
Corbell ice cream?
he's smoking a cigar, and he's an
Fudgy
older
the
gentleman.
whale?
He's like a middle-aged or older gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a meaningful exchange of glances right there.
Yeah.
Connor, meanwhile, is like, "So how much of a charge do you have on this bike?" And she's like, "Not enough. Fucking Burton never pedals." And
Fucking Burton.
Ryan Connor's like, "Well, they could put that on his grave." Like, clearly that's always gonna be Burton's story. So he gives her a tow and recharges her battery in the process and drops her off. She uh says thanks and good night. Then we see back at the bar.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah. Do you wanna walk us through it?
Well, big boss guy whose name I already forgot is talking to Attic.
Corbell.
Oh
Corbell.
yeah, Corbell Ice Cream is talking to all the other guys.
Also, that guy is in Westworld.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did you watch Westworld?
I didn't.
Eh,
Everyone keeps telling me I need to watch it, but I haven't watched it.
well, so
Yeah.
some good, some bad, depends. Your mileage may
Yeah,
vary.
as with everything. And he's like, "Hey, fuckers, what the fuck? You don't sell one pill. That's fucking stupid. I hate you. Go to your room," or whatever he says. And they're like, "No, it's cool. No, whatever." Well, and he's like, "Here, take a drink. I need you to calm down for this." And I don't even remember that guy being in that situation. Like some guy that wasn't the head guy of that situation of selling the one pill takes the glass and he's like, "I don't." He's like, "No,
Well,
take
apparently
the
he's
drink."
the muscle. That
Okay.
that guy's name was Cash. He had a tattoo of a dollar sign on
Oh,
his face. Atticus had a uh cross
Cross.
tattooed on his Adam's apple, and he also had an Ankh earring. And then I don't
Right.
know what the third guy's name or deal
Or
was,
tattoo was.
or tattoo identifier
Yeah.
was.
So
Um,
Cash like leans down to like, I don't know, lick the whiskey out of the cup, and fucking Corbell slams his face into the glass, cutting his face. It was fucked up.
right. And while that happens,
Mhm.
just before that happens, Corbell's son joins them at their booth. His name is Jasper. And Corbell's like it's clear that he says something like, you know, sit down and watch.
I don't want to watch,
Yeah, he's uncomfortable with it. And then
as one
Corbell
should be.
bashes dude's face in. Cash is on the ground bleeding. And he gives, this is the real come to Jesus speech, right? So he runs the criminal organization that these guys are fucking up. And after smashing Cash, who's the fucking muscle of the organization, in the face and cutting him open, he's like, if you look weak, I look weak. A lesson for us all.
Thank you. He is not wrong. The weakest link and all that.
Meanwhile, back at the farmhouse slash airstream,
The
Flynn,
homestead.
yeah, back at the homestead,
Mhm.
Flynn spies, like she's about to go like have beers with her brother. She's got 2 beers on her
Right.
that she brought from the bar, or I guess maybe from the house.
I just assumed it was from the bar.
Anyway, she's got 2 beers on her. Well, no, she spent all the money.
I
So
know, but
anyway, whatever. She's got two
uh,
beers.
dang.
She sees him struggling in pain
Mhm.
and just leaves the beer outside and just walks away.
Which,
The
dude,
next day,
I don't like that she was looking through his window. I don't like that.
oh, you're
But
you're afraid that she's gonna see something else icky.
yeah, something meant not for her eyes. Yeah.
Um,
Anyway.
so the next morning, she's washing her sick mom's hair, and she has like sort of a little momentary flashback thinking about last night's virtual reality thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're chatting. The mom is like, my pain is worse, but Burton has been giving me his
Some
pills. He says that he doesn't need them. And now we understand
He
what
wasn't taking them for himself. He
he
was
wasn't taking
just
them for
giving her
himself.
extra.
He was exactly, and she's been gobbling all of hers and his and going through them even faster than Flynn realized.
Yes.
So Flynn then apologizes to Burton and asks him about the pain. And he's like, meh, whatever. Like shrugs it off.
Blah blah
Uh,
blah blah blah. Whatever.
blah, 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 blah. So then she puts on the VR headset.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Gugh.
Yeah.
Gah.
So this is very weird fiction. She opens up on an operating table, completely paralyzed. Alita is talking her through the surgery. Now we see Mr. Ice's body. This is Burton's avatar.
Mhm.
He's unable to move, unable to get out of the game. So she's stuck in it. They're going to do eye surgery. They are going to extract.
Everything Alita said in this scene was fucking terrifying. She's like, "Oh, you're probably wondering why you can't move. Yeah, that sucks. Oh, also, you're probably trying to scream your way out of this in your head. Can't do it. Only I can do that." Man, that fucking sucked. That was terrifying.
Yes, but
Mhm.
she coaches Flynn to rein in her
Mhm.
heart while they extract the eyeball. And having no other option,
Right.
Flynn does it.
Right. What else are you gonna do?
Yeah, you're fucked. You're stuck here whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So, uh, there's like a there's a pre-extracted eyeball
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that came from Dear Marielle. That is the woman that we drugged in the previous scene.
Ah, I
That's
totally
why we needed her. We needed to get her eyeball.
got it. I after this, I pretty much looked away for the entirety of the scene because no thank you.
Yeah, it was very gruesome. It was totally
Good.
it was all those things. And so like the eye is many things. Part of it is like how we process our world, but it's also like I, the self, like EYE, and I, the letter I myself, am I.
Yes.
So, anyway,
Giving
uh,
away part of your whole body, part of your whole self, as it were.
so Alita says, get some shut eye. So, time
Nice.
passes without us knowing how long or whatever.
Mhm.
And Mr. Ice then wakes up at night in a vehicle with Alita. They're driving. The new eye will open doors for them.
Just as I had been scanned for the whole machine that she's using right now. And any other thing she needs to sign for, they scan her eyeball for it.
Yeah.
Or people. Like technology is what it is. Josh, technology.
Technology.
That's right.
Uh, they get in an elevator that goes down, 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 down to, he's like, where are we going? She says, infinity in the palm of your hand, eternity in an hour.
Okay, bitch, where are we going though?
Right? Like, okay, is this the movie Inception? Because we've incepted like into a game, into another game inside of the game.
Mhm.
Um, they go 95 levels deep and get off in like this dank sub basement. His eye opens a chamber with like weird waterfall curtains and
Yeah,
an
yeah.
upside down pyramid in the center that has a scanner on it. And she forces him to have his eyeball scanned by it.
Not hers, not Marianne's or whatever her name is. Mr. Ice's eyeball. And it looked painful. And that's why she was forcing him because he did not want to do it. It looked painful.
Yeah, it was a total struggle the entire time. Door opens. She's like, that guy's a killer. Stop that guy. So
He's like,
Mr. Ice
what?
jumps into action
Badly.
badly. Like the killer is obviously very good at his job, disabling Flynn. He he is the one that names Alita. He's like, Alita West, greens and legumes. What? Apparently, she has a very healthy diet.
Except for her.
What the fuck? That's one of the strangest things in this entire episode. So, what the fuck? There's a big fight. The killer,
He's got a crazy sonic gun that I fucking love that sonic gun. That was
yeah,
super neat.
it's amazing. Flynn gets slash Mr. Ice gets back up and is struggling to save Alita from the killer. And in the process, we see that thing you were describing where the hand gets peeled off, and underneath the regular hand is a
It's
robo skeleton.
a T2 skeleton.
Yeah, it's total. Is the T1000 for
Yeah, yeah.
real?
Apologies, T1000. Yes.
Um, and so there's like a moment of like, what the fuck? And that's like that's another fucking weird fiction thing where it's like I'm looking at my own body, but I can't trust my own body
Yeah.
to be what I think it even is. She like Mr. Ice has already been referred to as a puppet. There's so many fucking things going on. So they have an epic fight. The killer asks, "Who are you and where are you?" And then blasts Flynn in the game. And
And
like
kill
that's the end that we see of that
the
VR.
detail, the detail in Mr. Ice's face when that thing goes off is so disturbing and gorgeous.
Yeah, like really nice effects, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure.
So Flynn wakes up immediately puking
Mm,
back in Blue Ridge, like outside of she immediately gets up and pukes outside the Airstream.
yeah. Never again, never again. Fuck that. Fuck that.
Yeah, she's completely done. I'm never doing that shit again.
Fair. That was
Right.
like the worst. The fucking worst. And she felt every fucking second of it. No, thank you. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So the next morning, we see her friend Billy Ann working to get her fucking lazy ass up out of bed. She's been sleeping in.
Let the girl have a mental health day. Jesus
I
Christ.
guess not.
Ugh.
So I'm a little bit like I don't know what the deal is with Billy Ann,
Billy
but
Ann's the spunky best friend that everyone has. What
I
don't you
think
get?
maybe I think that she seems like that, but I also like I'm most suspicious of her.
You think she's a plant?
I kind of
I could see it.
in this like in these many intersecting worlds where we don't know even which world is real.
Hmm.
If we think that the world of Blue Ridge Mountains 2032 is real life
Yeah.
and someone might be fucking with them from outside.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess any of them could be Sims or whatever puppeted by someone else from the outside or
I
or
was gonna
pup
say,
or
do we know?
puppet or they could be real people who are puppeted by Sims.
Right. Or they could be, yes, yes, absolutely. I was gonna say, well, do we know how long she's been friends with Billy? But Billy could have been taken
Forever,
out years
forever.
ago and then replaced with a puppet. Like, who fucking knows, dude?
Right. So I think the thing to hold on to is that absolutely nothing can be trusted in this world or any of these worlds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, like, there's nothing about Billy Ann that says "do not trust me," like warning, warning, red flag. I don't
Which,
think.
right, which is a red flag.
Okay, so she's like, you know what deja vu literally means? It means already seen. So like we've got the idea of deja vu is also like, wait a minute, am I living in a world that I've already experienced? There is that feeling of unreality about deja vu.
Mhm.
She finds the stolen figurine of Tommy and she's like, you dirty, dirty girl, calling her out. And that's where we learn that Tommy is the seventh grade crush she never let go of.
When she mentions deja vu,
Mhm.
was was that ever brought up before she said that? Like, I
It
felt like
well,
that
yeah.
was
Well, I think that it's like she was saying that her sleeping in is a thing that,
uh,
she's seen before.
got
I
it.
th- I think that was the context.
Yeah, got it.
And then Flynn tries to she's like ruminating about the VR thing and she's trying to explain it to Billy Ann, like, I'm doing this tech and like it was all normal and then it went to just pure meanness. And then they had this moment where my hand was ripped off, but I don't understand why. The
Why would they make it look fake if it was supposed to feel real?
Yeah, that's like the whole point of
Good
it.
point.
Right. So like that calls into question, did the designers of that game ever even know what real people were? Right? That's that's I think what we have to deal with here is like a level of unreality that originates from a place that's not our world, like not the world that we ourselves live in and know. So in a matrixy type of concept, you've got
Like it,
computers who are basing people on what they best know, which is computers, not human beings.
so it's like a future where you feed prompts into Dolly and it comes up with entire universes that you have to live through.
Yeah, I guess so.
And everything's just a little bit off because that's what it does,
Right. The artificial intelligence does its best with what it knows.
which is ain't shit.
Um, so then she says, like, I can't help feeling like I was in a real body somewhere that's real and not a sim.
Uh, yeah. She goes to work,
Yeah,
right?
back at the 3D print store,
Mm, mm,
and
mm.
she gets a call
Oh, right. Doing some
from,
windows.
yeah, she's squeegeeing the windows. A pointless fucking job as far as I can tell. Like,
Oh, look at this crap shack. No one cares if
right?
the windows are clean.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
But she's got to do something with her time, so I guess squeegeeing the windows will do. While while doing that, she gets a call from Wilf. That's the dude we saw at the very beginning of the episode talking to an imaginary street urchin who maybe wasn't imaginary or whatever. And he warns her and she hangs up on him.
Yeah. Hmm. Oh, what else is she gonna do? Like, that was one of the worst experiences in my life. No, I'm not gonna do that again.
Yeah.
What? That's stupid. Fine, but we're gonna fuck with all of your technology when you try and close up tonight.
Well, wait, before we get to
No.
that, because we have a scene that answers your question from earlier about do we see any cars in the Blue Ridge Mountains?
Oh, yeah.
So,
You
boom,
look
we
like,
cut to a mini mart at a gas station. A cop is making himself a coffee
mhm,
and
as
he
they
looks
do.
outside and sees some sketchy dudes gassing up
Hmm.
and they take off. And he's like, he decides to follow them because they look sketchy. Or maybe
Yeah.
he recognizes them. It doesn't seem like he does.
Josh,
What's up?
you look like a Jedi that has died.
I have the let me see what can I do to
It's fine. It
hold on a
doesn't
second.
matter.
It's a little bit of schmutz on the oh, you know what it is? There's a little bit of sunlight. There
Yeah.
we go. There we go. It was
Oh.
fun. It was fun being Obi-Wan Kenobi for a second.
All right, so the cop goes and chases these guys who this whole scene before the chase reminded me of whatever. It reminded me of John Wick when he's like, "Hey, nice car," blah blah blah. Anyway, not important. So the cop goes and chases these guys and he loses them. He's like, "Ah, they were right there. What the heck? How did
Right.
I lose them?"
He's following them at a high speed. They go around a corner. He goes around the corner and they are just not there at all. They've
Gone.
completely disappeared. He pulls over
Mhm.
because like what else is he gonna do, I guess?
Right, right. But
And
also
then
there were tracks in the grass where he pulled off. I think he saw those and was like,
oh,
"Mhm.
okay, eagle eye there.
Yep, me, that's me all the time." Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So he gets out of his car and a dude appears with a gigantic piece of artillery and tells him to get in the road. He's like, why? If you don't, I'll shoot you.
Good reason.
And then he gets run over by an invisible car.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Cars aren't invisible, Josh.
Yeah, and then it comes back into visibility, and the dude who was holding the gun gets into his
It's
car, which
invisible
had been
car.
invisible, and then they both drive off, and the cars go invisible again as they drive away.
That's right. That's what happened.
So those are some badass dudes with some very cool technology at their
Yes.
disposal.
They got to be from the future, right?
Or maybe like in 2032, that's like high-end tech that's available.
It's like a 2022 Tesla. It's there, but not a lot of people have it.
Something like that.
So now we go back to the 3D printing place and she's closing up and she's like, okay, bye, whatever.
Yeah, it's
And
night. I guess like I don't know how much business this 3D printing store in the Blue Ridge Mountain is getting other than
it's like the only business in the town,
there's a bar, there,
a
there's
gas station.
there's a gas station where the one cop goes. No, there are two cops because there's Tommy and
Right,
this other
right.
guy.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. And a 3D printing.
And a 3D printing place that like the only job we know that they've ever done was printing a bride and groom.
Right, but they have a shit ton of 3D printers, so they got to be doing something. And they were all on. She had to turn them off, so they were doing something.
Yeah, there's a lot of computer power in
Maybe
there.
instead of like having Amazon deliveries, they make everything in the 3D printers and people come and pick it up.
Oh, that's a yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um or for that matter, maybe just like 3D printing anything at like a high-end place like that is something that people do all the time for, I need to like fix the plumbing
Right.
in my kitchen.
You don't need any other stores or businesses. You
You
just have
can
something 3D
3D print
printed.
every object.
Yep, yep. But at that point, I would think that everyone had a 3D printer in their house and they could just do it at home. But whatever, I'm not going to get into semantics. So she's
Right.
shutting down all the printers, and they start turning back on and talking to her and telling her she needs to get back in the game if she wants to live, question mark.
Yeah, it's Wilf. The
Yeah.
that same character is now like he's not calling her on the phone. He's calling her through other technological means. All of the machines, like she's turning one off and the next one starts talking. Like
Yeah.
he's piloting all of this technology, telling her she has to sign back in. There's a $9 million bounty on her and her whole family on the dark web.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah. So she fucking hops on her bike and goes home in a hurry.
But also I wonder, see, there's so many times in shows and movies where they do not mention numbers when they talk about money because at some point it won't make any sense in the future because of inflation and whatnot. And I gotta wonder if a pill is $1,000, and I don't know what this pill is. It's a made for TV pill, I guess, maybe. I don't
Mhm.
know. Is $9 million really going to be that much money to have on your head? I don't know.
I wouldn't get too hung up on that because I think on the one hand,
Yeah.
we have to assume that like all medical care is expensive. And on the other hand, I think we have to believe that all life is cheap.
Oh, good point. I
Yeah.
mean, to be fair, I'm not going to get caught up on it. I just get nitpicky and
No,
I
I feel
apologize
you.
for
I
that.
feel you. I feel like whenever you name a real number, it's like
Mhm.
it's a good way to pull the audience out of the moment to be
Yeah,
like
yeah.
calculating what values are relative.
Right. Like if you're going to use money amounts, just make up a fake money so we don't know what that means.
Totally. All the
And
credits.
yes, the credits. Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, okay, I gotta go home. And she goes, and her brother is there with a bunch of his buddies drinking beers. And
Right.
she's
They're
like,
all like army buddies, his whole squad.
she's like, dude, Someone's got a bounty on my head. I'm totally scared. And they're like, that is hilarious, you stupid little girl.
Right. They're talking about, they're all worried about Connor. That's the guy in the wheelchair who we met in the bar fight scene,
Right.
who like stepped in and like honestly, Flynn doesn't seem like she needs people to protect her, but like he protected her.
He had her back.
He had her back. So anyway, they're all talking about they're worried about him, like maybe because he's drinking himself to death, maybe because he got the most injured when they were at war together, whatever.
Right.
She rolls up and she's like, listen, the company or somebody got in touch with me. They want me to log back in. And they said that there's a bounty of $9 million on all of our heads. Everybody just fucking bursts out laughing.
Hilarious.
So they're like, bah ha ha, good one.
You
Burton's like,
stupid
hey,
idiot.
yeah, Burton's like, can you grab that 12 pack for me? And she's like, if you're too drunk to fetch it, you're too drunk to drink it.
Boom.
Yeah, burnt. And then
get wrecked.
so she goes in to put her mom to bed and says that like Tommy was asking about you. And she's like, oh, the funny thing about losing your sight is like you remember people. Like I know that I've seen him as an adult, but like I think of him as a boy. And so I think there's sort of an echo of people we are and people we were. And meanwhile, outside, the guys who were just making fun of the idea of there being like a bounty on their head was like, we weren't taking Connor seriously. Maybe we should have been. And fuck, maybe we should be taking this other thing seriously. And we hear while Flynn is putting her mom to bed, they start operating some drones just out of an excess of caution.
Yes.
And lo and behold, the drones with like heat vision spot a whole team of assassins approaching.
That's right. They're almost right fucking there. They put out their own drone just to find out exactly where they were. It's
And
drone,
then yeah,
drone crazy.
It's drone city, but also like, so we've got a team of army guys drinking in the woods. They're about to get invaded by a team of assassins. I guess those are the guys with the invisible cars.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Has to be, right?
Cut to credits. That's the end of the episode.
What?
And we've got London Calling as the end credit song.
You guys.
Right? Nice one. Nice one.
Good shot, dude.
There's so many fucking things happen in this episode, and there's so much to talk about and think about.
And it's too much for me to comprehend.
Well, unfortunately,
are we smoldering? Has the fire been burning too bright all night and now it's morning?
Hold on a second. Cut, edit, point. So there's so many fucking things that happen in this episode. There's so many things to think about and talk about. Unfortunately, that's literally all the time we've got for today. So we've got to go. Thank you so much for joining us. We've been on fire tonight with Josh and Tressa.
You know what, Josh? I just wish that you would respect what I'm doing here, because I'm just trying to bring the audience on board and make them a part of this. And I don't think you're respecting that enough.
You know what? This episode that we just talked about, the very first thing we saw was like pirate ships. So I kind of feel like this is pirate radio. And it ends with the clash. This is pirate radio clash. This is pirate radio clash.
All right. Stop, cut. Let's go. Let's from like endpoint. You guys, that's all the time we have time for. Whatever that he says, we gotta go. Thank you so much for joining us. we have been talking for so long that it's like the fire is out and it's smoldering in the morning. So we will see you next time